Today, Pete, Ray, Winston, Egon, they go to Comic-Con. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, we're about to get into another wonderful episode of Talk Shop. We're continuing that read-along of Ghostbusters. That's right, y'all, Ghostbusters Convolution. Today, it looks like the Ghostbusters on a nice little field trip, if you will, a little vacation, a little time off, some R&R. And Pete got to choose the last trip. Egon chose a trip, and this time it's Ray's turn, and Ray wants to go to Independence Con, or Independence Day Con. Either way, it's the 4th of July, and everybody is there talking about comic books, doing their thing, living it up, loving life. And the first thing that Ray wants to do is go see the booth of Frank Bancroft. This is a master artist and illustrator. He has drawn so many characters. He has been the foundation of the comic book industry, and everybody has paid him homage. And Ray wants to go and see the remnants of what used to be, of where this man used to sit, what made him so great, because unfortunately, Frank Bancroft has passed on. Now, with his passing, you can definitely see it's all about brotherly love, because Egon, Winston, and Pete are there to support him. So much so that they go to a 2-hour panel, or I think 2.5-hour panel, to support Frank Bancroft and just talk about his work and how much he's done and what he's done for the industry. And while they're sitting there, it just seems to be nothing but boring. I mean, Pete falls asleep. Egon falls asleep, and Winston asks if the guy ever drew any black characters. But at least they get something done while Ray is all googly-eyed over the memory of Frank Bancroft and what he's actually done. And while they're doing their thing, we end up coming across some cosplayers that are dressed like Ghostbusters, and Pete has an axe to grind with them. He's not too pleased to see them wearing his garments, and they say, you can't sue us because we paid $5,000 for this stuff, and this is authentic wear. And even Egon steps in and is like, yo, we never spent that much money on our costumes, so you have to at least give them that. Plus, they were lawyers, so I mean, what was Pete gonna do? But they reel it in. You know, Pete doesn't go to war. But then Ray actually ends up almost going to war over someone who didn't believe that Frank Bancroft was the best illustrator ever and thought that it was all about the writer and that Frank could not do everything on his own, which of course we all know he could. Now, before we get to the craziness, because something does happen, I gotta remind you that you can find me at Black Hollywood Live. That's right, the first online network for African Americans, super dope. And you can find them at blackhollywoodlive.com, where they have celebrity interviews, after shows, sports talk, geek, nerd, tech, the whole shebang. From day to day with live streams talking about everything on youtube.com/Black Hollywood Live. Now, of course, wherever the guys go, trouble does follow. So during a heated debate with Pete and one of the cosplayers, we end up finding that, well, a god springs up, literally in the middle of their conversation. And he wants to be worshipped way more than this Frank Bancroft character, because he's real and apparently he's just some human mortal or some past mortal that he doesn't care about. Now, trouble springs up always. The Ghostbusters are prepared. Sort of. See, they didn't bring any of their packs, so this time they have to actually run and figure out what to do, while the new god that sprung up named Dork'A, don't get me started, it's a dumb name, but hey, he springs up, he starts hypnotizing people, forcing them to worship him, and even gets Ray himself. Ray be getting possessed a little too much, but we're gonna move on because we have to save the day. Pete and Winston go one way trying to get their packs and suits back from these cosplayers that think that maybe we can cause a diversion, while Egon has a real plan. Because see, Egon picked up on a little PKE reading that shows that maybe Frank's, spirit is somewhere around. And the wonderful thing is that, of course, all you need to do is just insult Frank a little bit and his ghost will show up. And when he shows up, he shows out. Egon gives him the, the rundown. He draws a whole bunch of heroes to come and help. And when they come and help, they are super heroes to the max. Taking it to Dork'A in a straight up all out battle royale. I'm telling you, if you bought tickets to the Independence Con or whatever, you got your money's worth. So all in all, the heroes aren't able to do it themselves, but Bancroft is the man. He hulks out and punches a hole in Dork'a's soul. And trust me, that dude is obliterated. And sometimes that's just how you gotta do it. Egon used a ghost to bust another ghost. And I mean, I guess, just like that. Makes sense to me, makes sense to you. So guys, I gotta give a shout out real quick to, that's right, Jack King Kirby, the ace, the #1, the legendary illustrator who Frank Bancroft was based on. Even his likeness was very similar to Jack Kirby. And we just want to say from here at Talk Shop to, of course, all the fans that love and miss, that's right, the man Jack King. Yo man, rest in peace. It is so dope, of course, to see him represented, especially in Ghostbusters, because that's just something fun. So guys, I want to know, what did you think about this issue of Convolution? For me, the art was not there. It was definitely not there for me. And the team didn't seem right. And what I mean by not seeming right is they didn't look the part, meaning that they just didn't keep enough likeness for me in the characters. And then the way they were written, Winston wasn't really himself, and really Ray neither. Especially there's a sequence with Egon that he just didn't seem like Egon. But of course it's Ghostbusters, so I still had some enjoyment. It's just that Convolution didn't reach that level for me. But guys, of course, jump down in them comments. Let me know what you thought of Ghostbusters Convolution. And before I bounce, I gotta tell you guys that you can now rejoice and celebrate and give a shout out to Jessica DeWitt, who just passed her goal for her Kickstarter. That's right, for Sinistra. It's met its goal. Now they're looking for stretch goals and all kinds of craziness, and it's just a lot of fun. Now, if you're into fantasy, if you're into monsters, if you're into ragtag teams, or if you're into brothers having to get together and figure out how to live this immortal crazy life, you guys should shoot over to that link down below and check out the Kickstarter for Sinistra. Put down a little coin, get yourself an issue. So that's my time, and I gotta tell you guys to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right, check me out there. All the videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that, they will be there. Along, you should hit shop.thatnerdsoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt player, and don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right, there's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. And shout outs go to LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please, man, be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. And check it. If you ever go to Comic-Con without your Proton packs, you're bringing it on yourself. Peace.